Hey guys, Perri here. You might remember a few months ago I had done a reaction to a video that showed some of the greatest marks in AFL, and I did that having absolutely no clue what I was getting into, but a longtime Patreon supporter, Michael, made the suggestion, and you know what? I like trying new things, so I just jumped in doing no research, and it definitely showed in that video. So you know what? I wanted to actually learn a little something, so I reached out to some local AFL players, and that's how I met Rick right here. How you doing, Rick?
Good, how you doing, Perri?
I'm doing well.
Thanks for
Happy
having
we're
me.
finally getting this done right now. First off, super short and sweet. You want to just introduce yourself to the audience? Tell me a bit about yourself and how you got into AFL.
All right. Hi, my name's Rick Shaibani. I play here in LA for the Los Angeles Dragons, Australian Football Club. And AFL has been something that I've gotten into the last few years. It's a fast-paced, hard-hitting sport that's really been taking off here in the States lately. And I didn't really play that many organized sports as a kid. And then when I came out here for my career, I thought, hey, 18 versus 18, full contact, no pads, no helmets, why not?
For someone like me who's first getting into it, and I don't like to slowly learn about things, I just want to jump right in. So for someone who wants to watch videos online, maybe to go check out a game themselves without knowing anything about the sport, what is basically the AFL 101? Give me a little cheat sheet to getting into the sport right now.
Okay, so AFL is Australian rules football, or footy, as we like to call it. And
Footy's the cool thing to call. All right,
essentially,
I'm going to call it
yeah.
footy now.
It's a giant oval, not a rectangle. It's with boundaries and 4 goalposts at either end. There are 2 big ones in the middle that you're trying to kick the ball through. If you do that, it's 6 points. There are 2 smaller ones on the outside. If you kick to the left or the right, or if you hit the post, it's 1 point, and that's called a behind or a minor score. Basically, whoever has the most at the end wins. It's full contact, no pads, no helmets. You can wear a mouth guard, but that's about it. And it's anybody can take the ball off you. It's 360-degree tackling. As long as you don't tackle above the shoulders or below the knees, you're good. You can hand pass the ball to a teammate, but you have to use your fists. You can't throw it. And also you can kick it. And basically the idea is to use your teammates to go downfield and score a goal. One of the big things is called a mark, which obviously you're familiar with already.
I've learned about marks.
That's basically just if a teammate kicks it 15 meters or more and you catch it, you've got time to kick a goal or kick to another teammate. Your defender can't touch you if you grab a mark cleanly. So, there you go.
Okay, so you're in the States right now and you are playing footy over American football. So can you tell me a little bit about that choice? What is it about this sport that appeals to you or makes you want to play it more so than the other?
Well, that's a great question. I did a little bit of rugby when I was in college, but I was never really able to fully commit to it. And when I was done with school, I decided to try it again and give it a go. And but I didn't really get a chance to play very often because the team I was with at the time was very veteran, very experienced. So a buddy of mine, he was like, hey, have you ever heard of Aussie rules football? I used to play a decade ago. And I was like, no, never heard of it. And he was like, well, hey, you should check it out. And as it turned out, I saw a game on TV randomly about a week later, and I was like, okay, I have to get involved. And that was when I lived in Phoenix, and when I moved out here, I decided to get involved with the Dragons basically straight away. The thing you gotta remember about American football is it's a very structured game. With Aussie rules, the action is constant. Even if the ball hits the ground, it's still in play. And again, the 360-degree tackling, the oval field, that's obviously very different to American football. And ultimately, there are more people involved. Anyone can score. It's not like a wide receiver or a running back or a quarterback are the only guys getting the glory. And anyone can tackle. It's a very uniquely Australian game that's only recently made its way over here to
Are
the
there
States.
different positions though?
There are.
Okay.
Yeah, it's loosely, well, it's not necessarily based around soccer, but it's similar in terms of midfields, forwards, defenders.
Okay.
Everyone has a unique role. And again, it's all about helping your teammates out, giving them the ball if they're open. And again, you got so much field to cover. It's so much more vast than an American football field would be. And the action is so constant. You always have to be running hard at the footy. and finding a way to get involved. And that's something that's unique because, again, in American football, it's very structured. Everyone's a chess piece. They have to do a certain role very, very well. With Aussie rules, like, it's more of a well-rounded skill. You have to be a very good all-around athlete and be able to run constantly. And having all those basic skills, which again we'll be getting into shortly.
So now, of course, we're doing a 101 video here right now. So from your perspective, like, let's say you're just walking around and you overhear someone talking about AFL. What are the biggest signs that that person has no clue what they're talking about? If someone wants to start talking the talk right off the bat, because even calling it AFL versus footy, stuff like that, what would you suggest to people, like terms to know?
Well, obviously, like here in the States, a lot of people confuse it with rugby, even though they're very different sports. But yeah, like basically, again, the main techniques are, being able to kick accurately and, again, hand pass rather than throw. And also, if you're in a situation that you're in the open field and you're just running with it, every 15 meters you gotta bounce it back to yourself while you're running. So just like a dribble motion, but do it in a way where it bounces straight back to you, essentially.
Which sounds a million times more challenging to me.
Oh yeah.
I love basketball, and I mean, you could bounce that ball any way you want, and as long as you have control, you're good. I can't imagine it.
It's called the running bounce, and again, one of the key defensive moves you need to do as a defender, I call them the 3 S's: shepherding, spoiling, and smothering. Smothering it's easy. It's just like blocking a kick, like in American football. Similarly, spoiling is like a pass breakup. Knocking the ball out of someone's grasp. Only difference is in AFL is that you use a fist to punch instead of just slapping it down, and you're going to try to like punch it towards the boundary, like out of bounds, right?
And if you slap it, I'm assuming there's some sort of penalty called.
No, it's just the preferred technique is to punch.
I gotcha.
And also, shepherding is the really fun part. It's just like checking in hockey. Like, say I punch it to a teammate, and a guy's about to tackle him, I can just give him a shove. So, and that's a really fun. Trust me, you could make a whole another video about best shepherds in AFL.
So that was a pretty good segue that you just gave me, because we're just scratching the surface of this sport right now. I want to do a couple of these videos. I want to do a series of AFL videos, and the next one is going to be to actually learn some of these techniques, which should be an experience for me. But right now, Rick, I got to thank you for taking the first steps with this. Just so people out there can find you, are there any social media platforms you want to plug, anything like that?
Absolutely. We are on Facebook at Los Angeles Dragons Australian Football Club, and on the web at ladragons.com, and you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram.
So there you guys go. That is the first of a few videos covering AFL. A special thank you to Patreon supporter Michael for making this happen at all. You are the one who inspired this video, so these go out to you. Thank you for watching this. Like and share. Goodbye, helicopter. We'll see you soon.